A moment of experiencing art can communicate something that 1,000 pages of words can't. As law students and as advocates for legal rights, we can use it as a way of communicating important ideas. And so that's in large part why I think art is an important lens with which to view the law.
So I signed up for the Artist in Residence program because I was really interested in how to think about law in a different way outside of reading case books and kind of examining policy and engaging in it with a more kind of theoretical and I think artistic way of interacting with the law.
We also wanted to see all of our spaces as canvases, and we had a program that year that we called New Windows on Justice, and part of it was just exploring and celebrating the fact that light was coming in the law school, but part of it was saying we ought to be looking outward and inviting the community to look in different ways than Osgoode had in the past. So even though we're building on tradition, the idea was to try something new and to see, in other words, something that would come out of that, at least initially, involving some of our spaces as well.
We have used the photographs that I've taken, so I, in the meantime, have gained entry into Kingston Penitentiary. I took photographs of the areas that I was allowed to access. The students and I have used these photographs as first and foremost as a jumping off point to have conversations and to explore through research and through the process of interviewing various stakeholders in the system.
I was interested to learn more about Kingston Penitentiary because as the oldest prison in Canada, it's been the original place where we've worked out notions of what it means to put people in jail, and the opportunity to work with Cindy and consider how this prison has developed and what it was for was, I thought, a particularly interesting example and opportunity at the law school to come at the law from a different way than just reading cases and statutes.
So the classes had multiple components. One part has been a regular weekly meeting where we've been talking about things from advanced cultural theory to some of the history of approaches to photography. We've also done a little bit of photography ourselves, and that's been paired with an independent research project. I investigated some of the history and theory around architecture of prisons. And we've also been doing some independent work on finding interview subjects to talk about the project as well.
What I think has been really great about this course is that we've been able to create a context for the photographs. And a context is incredibly important for creating broader understanding, broader meaning. And what's been really important for us is to not continue mainstream conversations and narratives about prisons and our prison structure, but to maybe look in corners and in places that would not allow, perhaps would not allow, I can't judge, if we were in a classic law class.